Holy crap, that was good. What'd you think, Spence?
I loved it.
Took my expectations, and then it took my expectations, like it took a log, shaved all of the branches off in one smooth motion, and then whacked them across the face because they were too low, and Colin was mad at me for it.
That was one big Apocalypse Now tribute.
Yeah, seriously, and it was so good, people.
One of my favorite parts was the use of slow-mo.
Oh, the use of slow-mo. People, I'm sure a lot of you know this, but there's nothing better than slow-mo used well and perfectly timed, and that's exactly what was in this movie. Here, hold on. It was just fantastic.
All the slow-mo and the Skullcrawler with the camera in it.
Uh-huh. The Skullcrawler, yeah, with the camera in it.
When it went silent and slow-mo.
Yes. It was all this action, all this big, huge score, and then it was just silent. And then boom, back, noise again, and the action just ramped up right again. And okay, so this is the segment of the movie. Maybe this should be our wallpaper, just a picture of my notes.
Maybe.
Or something, because... Or I'll write, in red ink, Kong Skull Island. But, oh my word, it was fantastic. It was so good. The first note I have, this is the segment of the program where I talk about my scrawled notes that I took in the dark.
For the 3 people that are going to watch this.
For the 3 people that are going to watch this, yes, you're welcome.
All of which we know personally.
Yes. Hi, Kyle. Yeah, pretty much. So, to start off, we were watching previews. We had just watched a preview of Dunkirk, which looks fantastic, by the way. And then all of a sudden, it says Warner Bros. Pictures. We seriously thought it was a preview for Wonder Woman.
I thought it was one that I haven't seen before.
Yeah, with the bright blue and a plane crashes into a beach. That's literally the beginning of Chris Pine's part.
Yeah.
In supposedly, from the looks of it, in Wonder Woman. I'm like, oh, cool, kind of an artsy, different angle in the Wonder Woman trailer. And all of a sudden, we just look at each other and we're like, is this the start of the movie?
Yeah.
What? Wait, whoa, wait a minute. I'm like, okay, it's this young guy that isn't Chris Pine and that evil guy from Unbroken. And we're like, what? And then we look at it, and the way it's filmed, the way it's shot, I'm like, oh, this must be a World War II comedy. It's like that Steven Spielberg ridiculous comedy he made in 1944. Mm-hmm. And it said somewhere over the Pacific in 1944. Or 1942, I guess it was. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, they're remaking it just 2 years later or something. And I'm like, oh my word. And they recognized the jacket as John C. Reilly's jacket from the preview. And yes. I'm like, spoilers, by the way, we're going to completely destroy this movie. I'm like, this is the beginning of the movie. What? So, and then all of a sudden, King Kong shows up, and there's this really cool fight. There's a really cool little fight there. And I'm like, oh my word. This is the start of the movie. This is awesome. This is so cool. The directing in this movie, guys, is fantastic. The one that I kept going to, the way he uses film and the way he uses different weird angle shots.
Yeah. The
way he pans over. That shot with Tom Hiddleston, they're on the boat, and it goes far away and goes from the tip of the boat backwards. The boat's coming at us, right? And the camera zooms in, all of a sudden you see Tom Hiddleston overlooking the rest of the boat, and then it swings around, and without warning we see the fog and the big storm, the hurricane that they're about to go into.
Yes. And the lightning was a weird color.
Yeah, the red lightning. By the way, favorite cameo, this cast is amazing. Amazing. Astounding. So many good actors. The cinematography in this movie is amazing. Just the music, the feel of it, using...
This was the best soundtrack I've heard since...
X-Men First Class.
No.
Oh.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes.
And Batman,
yes.
And Batman v Superman for a completely different reason. But.
Yes, but... Yeah. Okay, yeah. That's the one I couldn't think of. Guardians of the Galaxy with the feel of X-Men First Class.
Yes.
Like, just think about it. We're in the 70s. We're post-Vietnam, right post-Vietnam. Or no, Dead Stays Future Past, but you know what I mean.
It's actually the same year.
Is it?
Yep.
As 1971? Yeah.
No, 3.
Or 3 or whatever. Oh, my word. Just... Oh, it was so good. The feel of it, and, like, the fact that I wasn't... Like, I came here to watch King Kong beat up weird two-legged lizards, which the creature design is amazing on that. And... Oh.
If this does not get an Oscar for visual effects, I'm gonna cry man tears.
Seriously. Seriously. It deserves every bit of the credit. This is the fact that I went here to watch King Kong beat up lizards, and I wasn't mad when we spent a half an hour, 40 minutes in the real world with the people. Like, all of a sudden, I wanted it to just be a Vietnam movie. I didn't even care that there was going to be monsters. I completely forgot and didn't care. Oh, my word. And, like, so we go in. I mean, so, oh, my word. The casting in this movie. John Goodman. Hilarious. Yeah, yes. John Goodman, hilarious. He dies, by the way. I said spoilers, right? Yeah. He dies.
Oh, look, I've been impaled.
Yeah, he dies. More like, oh, look, I've been eaten from above by a crazy two-legged lizard. But yes. And, oh, my word, just... Oh, I feel like I'm repeating myself. I feel like I'm a broken record. This is what happens when you don't script your review.
He was the second funniest character behind John C. Reilly's.
Oh, John C. Reilly was hilarious when he's like, yeah, I call them the skull crawlers. And they're like, why do you call them that? He's like, I don't know, right? I just call them that. And then I say out in my head, it sounds stupid. You call them whatever you want.
He was like...
I made it up.
He was just what I expected.
Yes, he was...
The Jack Horn of this movie.
He was exactly Vincent D'Onofrio's character in Magnificent Seven. Like, not copying it. Don't misread me, folks. He was that kind of character, and it was perfect. He was hilarious. And oh my word, remember how I said the story? I'm like, yeah, 6 out of 10, whatever. You know, I'm not gonna like this. You know, the action is gonna be the cool part. Oh my word. Like, the story.
Yes.
Was awesome. The writing, the way they structured it, the way they structured the characters. And one of the big huge things I want to get to, the guy Toby Kebbell, who I love. I feel bad for him that he had to play not Doctor Doom in the horrendous
Fan-4-stick
Sci-Fi Channel level of bad Fantastic Four remake. I feel bad for you, man, because I loved you. I know that was you in Planet of the Apes. Okay, you were amazing, just as good as Gollum. Frigate.
Andy Serkis.
Andy Serkis. You were toe to toe with the man in that kind of animation. You were so good in that. You were awesome in Prince of Persia. I have been there since the beginning, since Prince of Persia, Toby Kebbell.
That was like 2003, wasn't it?
Yes. It was amazing. You were the best part of that movie. Jake Gyllenhaal should be ashamed of himself. And Alfred Molina and the black guy. But they were cool too. But anyway.
I think everybody should be ashamed of Jake Gyllenhaal.
Well, yes, but that's a separate subject. I mean, like, okay, Toby Kebbell and Shea Wiggum.
Yes.
Shea Wiggum as Cole was my favorite character. And this is a movie with Samuel L. Mother-friggin' Jackson being Samuel L. Jackson.
I was expecting him to recite his line from Snakes on a Plane.
What was that?
I'm sick of these mother-friggin' apes on this mother-friggin' island.
Oh my word. And Samuel Jackson, oh my word, he is so cool. He is so cool. I mean, it's just the music in this movie. There's a scene, there's like half a second scene when they're heading out, they're on the aircraft carrier and they're heading out towards the island. And the guitar, that's the first time I noticed the soundtrack. where she's like, no, 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 no. And the bass just hits you in the chest with this electric guitar. And it just shows Samuel, and he's got his eyebrows and the aviators and this awesome, like, scarf thing that only he could pull off. Yes. And he's just like, I am Samuel L. Jackson. I'm going to own this movie, even though I die. Spoilers. And
that was pretty good for a white boy.
I know, right? But, And in that movie, Shea Whigham was still my favorite character. One of the things I loved was just the turn from this awesome scene that I was just loving. It was like a music video with that, what was it? It was like a Rolling Stones song or something that they blare through their loudspeakers.
That was, Black Sabbath.
Oh, it was Black Sabbath. Okay. Well, I'm sorry. I don't know my classic rock, even though I love it. But, and it's this amazing music video where they're dropping bombs and they're just loving life. And you see the shots of, like, the film that look really cool. The music, and you see the reflection in Cole's sunglasses, the explosion. He just has that grin on his face. He's like, yeah, war is awesome. And then all of a sudden, you remember it immediately from the preview. All of a sudden, it goes forward, you just see this palm tree just go towards them, and it gives you an amazing, like, 3 or 4 seconds for the characters to look, and they're just like, is that a pine tree? And, like, the helicopter explodes.
Yes.
And that's the first part where it goes silent. The music cuts out, it goes silent. You see this palm tree just harpoon this helicopter, and you're just like, oh, like, what? And then,
and all the little extra shots, like the water canteen and the lighter and the back of the helmet, reminded me of the Ultimate Edition of Batman v Superman.
Yes.
Except there was no casserole.
Yeah. You know what it was? It was that moment when Superman grabs... We'll talk about this when we eventually get to our Batman vs. Superman documentary. Commentary. That's just too
Next, on South Paris Geographic.
And we see as the Batman in his natural habitat, beating the crap out of this rapist. Anyway.
Crikey!
Do you bleed? But, the tangents we're going off here. How many minutes are we into this?
9.5.
Holy frick! Anyway, so where was I?
I don't really know.
Oh, yeah, just that oh crap moment when the mood of the movie completely changes, and you seamlessly have this hard cut from amazing fun music video. We're like laughing our heads off.
Yes.
Like, this is so cool. I'm loving this. I'm loving this little music video they're doing here. And then boom, Kong shows up and just lights it up, and he's like, dude, I am the baddest thing on this island. You can all suck it. Like, essentially. And, I mean, we were laughing only for a different reason, because we were having so much fun. We literally could not stop laughing. Like, oh, he just did that. Like,
this was like a serious Lego Batman movie at times. We were just laughing all the time.
Seriously. And one of the things I really appreciated that was awesome was the realism of the army guys in this movie, especially Cole. Well, Sam did really well, and Cole, because how in control they are in this. It's not like, like some other disaster movie, low-rent disaster movie, where it's just like, oh, we're all terrified because it's a giant friggin' monkey. It's just Cole Hauser.
Is that a monkey?
Yeah. Yeah, oh, that's a good Toby Kebbell line. Is that a monkey? But, sometimes life just punches you in the balls.
And at that point, Kong had enough of the racism crap.
Seriously.
I'm an ape! I'm a monkey!
Ape! I'm gonna destroy you. Dude, is that why?
What?
Is that a monkey? Did he have, like, super hearing and hear that? Like,
Probably.
Just how he knows that the girl falls off and he somehow, like, sees her, like, fall off the rock into the... Does he have super hearing? And he's just like, is that a monkey? I am an ape!
Do you see a tail on this posterior?
if for no other reason, go see this movie because there is a scene where there is a spider. There is a spider that has bamboo legs, and it is amazing. There were so many predictions I think that we got right.
Yes. I had the
claw attack.
Yes.
Like from above, the attack, like, they're going to be walking through a jungle, there's going to be an attack from above.
Or the side.
Or the side, or the front, or the friggin' everywhere, like it ends up being. And the dude gets stabbed through the mouth with a bamboo leg.
Through his esophageal passage.
Seriously. Like, he's taking a picture, all of a sudden he looks up, and you see him see something, he's like, what the frick? And you just hear, and it cuts away and you just hear, fa-choom! And then you look back, and there's this, like, horror movie organ music, and there's just, like, and then you see the thing go, like, he's hanging back, like this, on the balls of his feet, and you see the bamboo thing went through his mouth. It was the most horrifying moment. Oh, it was so terrifying. We'll get through it here, because, I mean, we're just going to repeat ourselves, but there's John Goodman's death is amazing. That whole scene, when the Flash goes off, like, for some reason he has this, like, sixth sense that a lizard is sneaking up behind him, and he's taking a picture, and his flasher breaks, like they all did back then, because the old cameras, but it just keeps flashing randomly, and he's like, oh, crap. And all of a sudden he gets eaten by a lizard, right? And he gets swallowed, and the flash keeps going off. And it's really foggy, and you just hear this really tense soundtrack, and you just hear, pa-choom, and you just see the flashes through its stomach.
And that's the only sound.
Yeah, through the lizard's stomach of the flash going off, so you know where it is. It's like over here, now it's over here, now it's over here, now it's over here. And then it just goes nuts. And then, quite possibly my favorite visual of the entire movie, John C. Reilly, just by the way, has a ninja sword from a Japanese guy that he crash landed with. That's the whole thing. You'll know if you watch this, you know what we're talking about. But he has a ninja sword. And then Tom Hiddleston, there's poison gas in the air because a guy dropped some poison gas canisters. And then that explodes. So there's poison gas in the air. And there are these weird, like, little bat pterodactyl things that start attacking because they're scared by the gas. And they're scared, and then he goes towards this lizard thing. And I almost don't know why, if he didn't cut the lizard, since he didn't cut the lizard's head off. I know what he was doing. He was going after the kid.
Yes.
That was amongst the poison gas. He's like, I gotta go get him. So he's like, okay, give me the sword. John C. Reilly has this awesome slow-mo thing. It tosses him the ninja sword. And then as Tom Hiddleston is running past, he picks up a gas mask from a dead body. Just goes boom, like it's on. And then he goes through the gas, and this is also slow-mo. He goes through the gas with the sword, and like a boss, cuts pterodactyls in half. Like he's seriously, like he's a Jedi.
He was playing Fruit Ninja.
He seriously was. He was playing Fruit Ninja. Yes, thank you. He was playing Fruit Ninja with little weird bat pterodactyls with a gas mask amongst this gorgeous-looking green poison gas. It is probably my favorite moment in the entire movie. Yeah, Tom Hiddleston, by the way. Remember how I said I hated him? Like, I'm like, because he took Craig out, I'm like, I want Craig to move over. From his first scene, he has a little fight scene at the beginning, just to show you that he's awesome. And right at the beginning when we're first introduced to his character. And I immediately leaned over to Spencer. I'm like, dude, like, I want him to be Bond right now. Directly right now. Because I couldn't get it out of my head that he has golden horns and a stupid green suit. And a staff that looks like a bad Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. costume. And it has the stupid Vasily Knyazov, to make another BVS reference.
You mean Anatoly?
Anatoly Knyazov, slicked back hair, like he's Frank Grillo in Edge of Darkness. If you get that reference, you get a fist bump and a hug, by the way. And seriously, like, I will pay you money if you get that reference. No, I won't, but seriously, like, that's an obscure reference. But then the location, just this island is amazing too. Like, it's literally, like, the cop just went by, I'm like, what? We didn't do it! But, yeah, just, we see a shot of the first Jedi Temple, by the way. I think Luke Skywalker was right over the next ridge.
Saying nothing
With a dramatic stare. Yeah, he was doing the slow-mo with a dramatic stare. And just, oh my word. And just the realism of how they handled it when the monkey when the monkey attacks, and the fact that they're just like stone faced. He's like, oh yeah, like he gets hit with another helicopter. Cole's thing does, and he just handles it instead of like being a crybaby and just like, oh my word, like, and just freaking out. He just goes stone faced and he's just like, oh, going down, still have partial control, brace for impact, and he goes down. And then later, they just get attacked, and they're gathering supplies. All the other young guys are, like, being hysterical. And he's sitting there eating a can of food. Like, eating a can of soup with a spoon. He's like, oh, no, like, leaning up against a rock. It's like, how can you do that right now? How do you even have an appetite? And Shea Wiggum just looks at him. He's like, eating's for the living. Takes another spoonful. Like, he's just a beast. He also dies, but he gets the best death. He gets that awesome side character. He actually gets the Jack Horn. He actually gets the Jack Horn death.
Kind of, yeah.
No, he does though, because Samuel Jackson turns into like kind of a villain at the end, and we almost don't like him in some ways.
If that's possible.
Well, it's not, because I'm still cheering for you, even though you went insane. Well, I'll Apocalypse Now, but even though you went insane, you're still Samuel L. Jackson. You're still Nick friggin' Fury. I love you. Like, I just,
I really liked when the last chopper went down, that GoPro thing of when they went down and then Kong picked them back up.
Yes, and he picks him back up. The most brilliant jump cut in the movie. When they're like, he holds him over his mouth, holds his mouth wide open, and then this guy that's desperately been holding on. We watch this guy desperately hold on through the entire crash, and all of a sudden his buddy falls next to him. Like, Kong holds the thing up over his mouth. The guy falls, doesn't land in his mouth, but then Kong holds him right over his mouth and like shakes the helicopter. I watch the guy's hands, and he slips, and he's screaming, and he just goes like, ah, and he's falling towards his mouth. Right as he's about to get munched, we jump to the scientist guy that has kind of been like the comic relief, and he's munching on a sandwich.
Yes.
Like, we immediately go crunch right into a sandwich. It's just, so many. And another prediction that I'm glad I didn't get right was that it didn't go artsy. It didn't try to go Avatar. There's some deeper meaning here, because the girl trying to convince Samuel L. Jackson not to kill Kong. She's like, no, this is bigger than us. We can't do this. We can't kill him. You know, she was being all, correct but lame. And which always happens. And then Samuel L. Jackson just kind of looks at her, almost looks like he's going to get it and go to their side and not try and kill Kong. And he's like, girl, please. And it's just like, and it's just comic relief. And it's just so perfect. It's so perfect.
This was like a Transformers movie that made the characters likable.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, by the way, if you watch Longmire, one more reference, we get Robert Taylor in this movie, Sheriff Walter Longmire, with mutton chops and a cameo. Talk about best cast ever. Your cameos are by one of the most fantastic television actors I have ever seen in my entire life, in Robert Taylor. Oh. One
of my favorite cast members that I'd forgotten was in it was Heath from The Walking Dead. The black guy with the glasses.
Yes. Oh, my word. I don't think I've even mentioned him. Corey Hawkins.
Yes, that's his name.
Yeah, I guess he was in Straight Outta Compton.
Yes.
And, I guess he was in Straight Outta Compton. And he, got a lot of recognition for that.
Yeah.
And, man, he was so good in this, because I only found out about him in 24 Legacy, which I wasn't expecting to be that great, but it's actually really good. in large part due to him and Bail Organa. Speaking of the Star Wars reference, Jimmy Smits, good old Jimmy. And, man, and the great part about that, I'm so glad I watched 24 Legacy, because it makes me love his performance in this. Because in 24 Legacy, he is, he has to play the replacement to Kiefer Sutherland's Jack Bauer, who, even though I didn't really care for the original show, is reputed as one of, like, the baddest dudes out there on television, and, like, always gets it done. He's like James Bond. He's amazing. And and Corey Hawkins plays the Macho Man. He plays this Army Ranger, and he's so good in 24 Legacy, and you believe him as this really cool, almost Jason Bourne kind of dude. And then you go in this, and he's an absolute dork. He's a geek, and it's not just because he's like, yeah, I wear glasses and an actually pretty sweet but dorky looking vest, and like so 70s vest, I want it. But he's, and then the minute he picks up a gun, he's like, yeah, I'm awesome.
The faces he made when he was doing that.
Oh my word, the faces he made. There, John C. Reilly gets a boat that he made out of, he and the Japanese guys crashed planes. And it has a turret on the front. And the second I looked at it, not only does the boat use the sound effects from the pod racer in Phantom Menace, the turret looks exactly like the turret from the Millennium Falcon. And I immediately looked at it, I'm like, dude, it's the Millennium Falcon turret. Even though, it's because the Millennium Falcon used turrets from old B-52s. But even so, it was my reference, so I went to it. and I'm like, dude, it's a turret, Star Wars. I didn't even think it worked. I thought it was just to look cool. And all of a sudden, there's a 50 cal, and they start shooting this big old lizard that Kong has to fight at the end. And he's just like, bah! And he's just going crazy, and it's just like getting like shaken like by the machine gun. And it should be stupid. I shouldn't laugh, but I laughed. It was funny. And
for the little bit that he's in The Walking Dead, he's hilarious. He's got like that dry humor, sarcastic.
I'll believe it, because because it's funny, because I was already thinking, he already makes me think of John Boyega.
Yes.
From Force Awakens. So I was looking at it, and I'm like, so I already had Star Wars and young kid from Star Wars on the brain. And the minute he starts firing and immediately hits the lizard, I immediately thought, great shot, kid, don't get cocky. Like, I wanted John C. Reilly to say that, because that was also his character. He was also kind of Han Solo.
Yeah.
But they didn't. I would have loved them forever. But,
for the Walking Dead fans that may or may not watch this, I guess we finally found out what happened to Heath when he went on that 2-week run with Tara. He found a new group and went on an expedition to find King Kong.
In the 70s.
Yes, he time traveled as well.
He went back in time. He teamed up with, he found David Tennant, and he went back in time. Found the doctor. But, so, final thoughts on this movie.
30 out of 10.
Seriously. I mean, it was fantastic. I haven't seen Logan yet, and I'm waiting for it to come out on VidAngel. And I was kind of sad I didn't get to go see it, but is this your house?
It's my road.
Yes, it is. Okay.
Not my house.
No, your road, I mean. But, yeah.
I don't shack up under the telephone pole.
Yeah, that would be nice. I was like, all right, here you go. Yeah, but, good luck with your hopes and dreams under the telephone pole. Anyway, I mean, I haven't seen Logan yet. I've only heard fantastic things. But after watching that, I mean, I don't see a world. There are probably those of you out there that are like, what are you, nuts? But I can't see a world where I will enjoy Logan more than I just enjoyed that movie. I seriously don't see it happening.
There are a lot of good movies that I'm going to become poor over this year. But it's going to be very hard to top that.
Oh my word, that was fantastic. So, story. How many out of 10? And like by story, I mean we know the story's going, but how they structured it and the characters and everything.
Give it a 10.
I'd give it a 9.
I liked that they didn't spend a ton of time getting the team together, and they just went.
Yeah, it was so good. It moved so quickly. The pacing.
Well, it was only 118 minutes.
How long is that? I can't math. Oh, 2 hours. Yeah, just under 2 hours, right? And it was fantastic. It just moved along at a good clip. 2 hours is perfect for that.
For reference, it's 3 minutes longer than Doctor Strange.
Yes. We'll be reviewing that movie. Don't give away your thoughts yet. We want to review that movie at some point. But, story 10 out of 10. Action, holy frigging poop. Like, 35...
That was the jungle version of Transformers.
35,000 out of 10. I mean, that was amazing. If you guys liked Godzilla, and I love Godzilla, but Godzilla's slow. It's more of a slow burn movie.
Yep.
And you get Godzilla at the end, and it's really awesome. There are like 3 or 4 really awesome moments. Kong Skull Island just ramps it up to 11. Here's what it is. Godzilla is
a lizard.
It's fast. Godzilla is Fast 5 if you watch Fast and Furious. It's Fast 5. It's really good. It has a few cool action set pieces. Dude. Kong Skull Island is Fast and Furious 6. This is the tank ripping through the semi-auto just out of nowhere. You have no idea what's in that semi-auto, what they're robbing, and all of a sudden the villain comes out and just boom! There's a tank going down the highway. That is this movie in a nutshell. 30 out of 10. I adore this movie. Please, 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 if you can, before it goes out. I'm sorry we were late in the review, later than we wanted to be. But please, go to a theater, empty your wallet into this movie in theaters.
It is worth your Benjamins.
It is worth it, people. I'm serious.
Okay, sorry, Lincolns. Movies aren't that expensive.
They're gonna be soon enough. My word, I paid like...
#inflation.
Yeah, I paid $5 for Mountain Dew because we were having too much fun recording this for you people, so we didn't have time to go to Dollar Tree. Contempt. But anyway, alright, so, I'm Gavin.
I'm Spencer.
And we are the feature creatures who just reviewed a creature feature. Thanks, guys.